Hey there everyone, this is Michael Duggal, your Greater Toronto Area real estate resource. Ever since the recent market data was released, there seems to be a lot of talk about the market picking up, listings selling over asking price, but I'm here to clarify with you what's actually happening here in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market, and I'm going to share with you some interesting data that you may not have access to during this video. Let's take a look at the market together. If you are considering buying or selling, make sure to call me, and if you're a real estate agent looking to surround yourself with the best agents in the business, make sure to reach out to me to learn more about eXp Realty. And I want to draw your attention to this article which states that the Toronto housing market will boom in 2025. According to Royal LePage, I want to remind you that Royal LePage also made a prediction earlier this year that the prices would increase by 10%. Since then, values have actually dropped by 1.8%. So although their predictions may not be accurate, neither than mine, of course nobody has a crystal ball, but we can look at the figures over the past year, and that's represented by this line which shows us that the average price really hasn't changed too much. Getting into the spring, I would expect that the values were to increase by 5 to 7%. Nothing too significant. It's starting to look like buyer demand is a little bit back, although as long as we have all the supply for sale, buyers will still have negotiation power. However, we are seeing specific pockets of homes that are selling over asking price. As you'd expect, it looks like the price range over $1.5 million is still fairly slow, but the listings that are under $1 million, especially in areas where there's limited inventory, those listings which are getting a lot of showings and getting more offers. And looking at this chart here, this line actually represents the number of showings on a listing before it sells. And this tells us that currently a listing would need to have about 15 showings in order for it to get an offer that's acceptable for the seller. Now, the difference in this market is that listings are actually getting showings, whereas prior we would often list a property, even price it right, and we'd be lucky to get one showing a week. Now you can say it's up to maybe 2 to 3 showings a week, but at the end of the day, the clients that are actually transacting are the people that need to move or need to purchase, not the people that necessarily want to purchase. So that's the reason why pre-construction sales are low. That's why there's far less purchasers out there for investment properties. The more common situations in which sellers are actually choosing to sell their homes are when they're needing to relocate, perhaps they're downsizing for some reason, or perhaps they have an additional property that they no longer want to rent out and they're putting it up for sale instead. And what's really troubling is when we meet homeowners that actually have an investment property that's now vacant and they've got it up for lease and they have it up for sale, and their listing isn't selling or being leased out. These homeowners are paying out of pocket just to hold on to the property. And while their homes are sitting vacant, they're still paying for their monthly mortgage, property taxes, and all the additional expenses. So as we're wrapping up the year, it looks like we're going to finish somewhere around 60 to 65,000 sales in the Greater Toronto Area. And this number may sound like a lot, but if we look at like the past 10 plus years, we're usually seeing about 80,000 sales per year on average. And let's not forget there's a much larger population here in the Greater Toronto Area. But one of the things that surprised me over the past year is that some of the areas where we've seen a lot of appreciation have started to depreciate in value. And meanwhile, there's areas where you wouldn't expect to see much appreciation, but they've actually gone up in value. But looking at this chart here, we've actually ranked the major cities and how much they've increased in value or decreased in value. And we can see Richmond Hill properties are actually up the most, up by 12.69%. And meanwhile, some of the cities which do experience quite a bit of appreciation have actually decreased in value, such as Markham down the most by 7.9%, Whitby down 5.83%, Oshawa down 3.61%. But the vast majority of cities have either gone up or down just by a couple percentage points, similar to how our average price has changed. But what will be interesting is the month of December, because we're going to see a lot of listings come off the market like they typically do during the holiday season, and then getting into January, we could be in a situation where there's not a lot of homes for sale and buyers are back into the marketplace because of the next interest rate announcement, which I'm going to keep you updated with. If you are considering buying or selling, make sure to call me, and if you're a real estate agent looking to grow your business, looking to learn how to make social media content like this, make sure to reach out with me and I'm happy to share more about eXp Realty. I thank you for your support and look forward to seeing you next time.